Thank you for joining us once again on the Discipline Therapy podcast on this Discipline Therapy Thursdays with your two hosts, Suhey Sotomayor, and with me, Mr. E.L. Discipline. As you can see, we have a beautiful in-studio guest, but I'm going to introduce her after Mr. E.L. Discipline does his thing. You hear this? Does his thing. He's not going to cut that out either. He's just going to let it rock. Does his thing. Oh, Lord. I've already had a long day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're double clutching, gear shifting, evoking critical thinking because we have conversations that are stimulating after dark. Why? Because we know y'all fiends. So we're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy where everything is completely free. See, if you subscribe, there's no monthly fee. It's free. It's judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and plenty of liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or roll a blunt. But the main thing is make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and vulgar conversations. Prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're here.
All right. So before I announce the what the episode is, which is it's a good one, I would like to announce our in studio guest, Miss JRose. She from her show, the JRose Experience, and she hails all the way from Queens, New York. Now, because I asked her this behind the scenes, but I'm gonna ask her it now. What part of Queens are you from?
I grew up in like Astoria, Long Island City area.
I grew up in Elmhurst.
Oh yeah, that was
Yes.
like
That's why I
right
asked. That's why I asked. I
there,
was like, wait a second, where's she
right
from?
around the corner.
And also just to mention some of your accolades. First of all, this woman has, if you go onto her website, which is www.therjrose experience, right?
The
.com?
Rose Garden
The
events.
rosegardenevents.com.
Yeah.
And you see all her accomplishments. 2020 was a blessing for you. You had, or you're so busy.
Yeah.
She was honored by I Am Forever Evolving with the Trailblazer Award at the Adjust Thy Crown Gala in March of 2020. And then after that, she won a third place in Lipstick Wars Poetry Slam, May 2020.
Would you
Yeah.
feel special or something?
That was
She should.
Okay, so I've been writing for over 20 years, and that was actually the first time I ever
Submitted.
participated in a slam
What is a slam?
It's like a poetry competition.
Oh, that's the word slam means it's a competition.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what's up.
listen, my mind was going someplace else with that. I was like, what is a slam? And she also published the Writers Unblock Journal with prompts and activities for writers, August 2020. And you can get that at the rosegardenevents.com, right?
Yes, yeah.
2020 was amazing for you.
That's what's up.
Unexpectedly,
Mhm.
especially with the
Pandemic.
pandemic kicking off in March. But I was coming out of like a very difficult year, like the end of 2019. Like 2019 was like crazy for me. So for me, although the world was like, going
Coming
to
to a halt.
hell, that was like my moment to like transform and like come out of like all the BS. And it was crazy. It was just one blessing after
That's
another after
awesome.
another, and I couldn't have been more grateful for all the accomplishments.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
we're grateful that you're here
Thank you
to
for
now.
All the way from Queens.
That's
Appreciate
right.
that. To Long
Thanks.
Island.
We have
Sorry. Before we get into it, I just want to shout out Linda Lynn because she's the one that made this work, right?
Yes, my
So,
girl.
Linda Lynn.
so okay, let me just really quickly, and then you'll get into whatever you need to get into. I contacted you 2020,
Yeah.
March or something like that.
Around the
I was coming out with the podcast, and I had saw that you already had your show. So
I had just kicked it off.
yes,
It
so I
just
was like,
started.
I want to pick your brain. I've never done this before. What's going on? So you started. You're the one that actually put me on with Cradle.
Oh, K
Yeah,
Cradle.
K Cradle. Yeah, shout out to Cradle. And cause I was telling you like, I'm planning, we're planning on doing film in the future and stuff like that. So you put me on to Cradle. Cradle then was a guest on our show, and then
He's my guy.
He's so nice,
I
so
picked
talented.
yeah, I picked your brain on as far as
Yeah,
like the
we
editing.
talked about interviews. I think it was like
Yeah.
I think we talked for like an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
Now that's something that you do, right? You're a curator, and you help people like with
like
their
coach.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I started out like hosting events and like curating events, so a lot of poetry, but then I really incorporated all artistry in my event. Um, so I started doing all of that, and then I took that to doing my talk show, which then originally started as something to just do in New York and turned into something where we're traveling to different cities
Mhm.
that's awesome.
to interview people. And then from there, I started getting a lot of people that are like, "How are you doing this? Can you teach me? Can you show me?" Da, da, da. And I have a friend, JResa, shout out to JResa, who one day called me and was like, teach me everything you know and I will pay you.
Mhm.
That's
She's like,
awesome.
I was like, I don't even know how much. She's like, don't tell me how much right now. Just think about it. Think about what you value your time
Mm-hmm.
and your knowledge, and get back to me. And like maybe a week later, I got back to her, and she was my first official client. And then from there, I just started teaching more people and coaching more people. And now it's kind of like part of my business as well, where I'm coaching people how to curate, or even people just how to like navigate social media and use social media as a tool to build their business, rather
Mm,
than like
Network. Yeah.
that's awesome.
like use it
So
for good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick your
Okay.
brain after the
Yeah.
show, all right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for
She's
So
gonna have to
sure.
give me her number, people.
yeah.
Okay.
I
So
got you.
Linda Lynn, she contacted me, and then she was like, "Yo, I got a guest for your show," and then she tagged me in your post, and then
Yeah,
I
see
tagged
that.
you. After I replied to her, I tagged you, and then yo, let's do it, and then here
That's
we
it.
And
are.
here we are. That's
That's it.
awesome. So,
Yeah.
Sometimes these connections, like, you never know how where they're gonna lead,
yeah.
and people sometimes get discouraged because they'll connect with somebody initially, and it'll be very brief, and not a lot will like come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then they're like, I don't know, that was a dub.
Mhm.
But it's really that it's just not time for that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
and then
Divine timing.
look 2 years later,
Yeah,
you know what
and
I'm
the
Mm-hmm.
thing
saying?
and the thing with our show, what we do is, we bring people like you, whether it's all different ethnicities, different things that they're putting out, whether it's music, they want to be entrepreneur, real estate, whatever it is, healthcare,
Whatever their
because
brand is that they're
yeah,
pushing.
not
Right,
because
right,
specifically what we do, but there's somebody out there that you could
right.
be
Mm-hmm.
touching, and now you're connecting with somebody
Yep.
out there that might live in Queens, that might live in New York. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's like we kind of just pride ourselves in kind of being that beacon,
right.
for that
Mm.
Like a
opportunity.
plug, like a
Yeah.
Yeah,
connector.
Okay. You're a connector too,
yeah.
Yeah,
because from what I read
I
on the
feel that.
bio.
I
Yep.
feel that in my soul, for sure.
All right. So today's episode, we're on season 7, episode 73. What
Yes.
makes a man or woman approachable to you?
Mm,
We got
Okay,
we got them topics that got people
that's a
thinking
good
over here.
question.
So,
okay,
Mr. EL Discipline,
okay.
off rip, the first bullet is your thoughts. So we usually
Okay.
we usually do the guest, but since
All
that's
right.
his bullet, we're
So
gonna go with that.
all right. So for me, it's the way she dresses online and out in social media. Whether will make her approachable or not. Um, and then after the approach, I think to myself, is she warming? Is she bitchy with an attitude? Is she mean mugging? Does she walk or have a cocky stance? Does she speak like she's arrogant? Her accomplishments, money. Does she speak like a nigga or a man? Is her voice as deep as mine? You know,
Lord, I
um,
hope not.
and or is the conversation one sided? So I'm
Right.
Mm,
paying attention to all those things. Like first, it's the eye discipline with me, and I'm observing prior to the approach, and then I'm like, okay, she's dressed. Depending on where it is, obviously you kind of get a little bit of a pass if it's at the club,
Yeah. Like
because
appropriate to the environment,
yeah, but
correct.
and
but
the
it let me
situation.
yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, like I'm not approaching a woman who's at the club with a slit dress, her butt cheek is hanging out, showing a lot of cleavage. I like her nipples are almost hanging out. Like
Right,
you see what I'm
right,
saying? Like I'm not approaching that because I'm kind of like I already see if you're willing to dress like that, there's no point in me trying to
right,
Right.
right.
There's nothing left
pursue.
to the imagination.
Yeah,
Right.
you know what I'm saying. I'm a man that prides myself in having serious relationships. Not like that I look at as sex.
Right, right.
You see what I'm saying? So like to me, I'm gonna be like, I'm wasting my time. Like I don't even want to talk to them, build with them, or anything like that. So
Mhm.
right there, that eye discipline that you're canceled, you're disqualified. But when I see if it's appropriate, even in the club environment, she could have a dress. It's like it's not close to her butt cheeks. It's like a little bit above her knees. You know, she's showing a little bit of cleavage, not so much. Because you really can't with those dresses. Like some dresses are designed that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she's approachable still.
That's
Now,
approachable for you.
once I approach her,
Mm.
it's the conversation that
Right.
will either win it or not.
Make or break it.
Yeah.
Right.
So for you ladies, what makes a man approachable? Is it does charm play a factor? Gift the gab? Is he if he's funny, the way he makes you feel, smooth talker, compliments off the bat? Does his appearance or the way he smells or dresses? You could go first, Jay.
Yep.
I mean, usually for me, because the first thing I see is right? The
Visual.
first thing that happens is I see. So it's usually has to be some type of like attraction in there. Whether it's like he has a nice smile or he has like, like nice lips or,
Right. Just I like
you
visually
know,
something
like
nice that's
he's
appealing.
yeah. Of course, I'm not expecting a guy to be dressed in a 3-piece suit, but is his clothes clean? Is his clothes is it wrinkled? Did he take time to iron his shit? Oh, can I curse?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great that you say that. Like a lot of guests come on here very respectful, which I love that. They're always like, they're just like you. Oh, can I say this? Can I say that? And yeah, we allow people to be free on here.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
You know
No
what I'm saying?
judgment.
No judgment. Yeah, let you rock.
Appreciate
This is like a
that.
chill time. It comes out at
Yeah.
night. Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so like, is he like, is his clothes clean? And then I like the mental, stimulation, so like
Definitely.
the conversation has to be like is stimulating and interesting. I've found in the past when dating that like a lot of guys are boring. Like, you know what I mean?
They just don't know how to speak, I
Yeah,
feel.
they're like, how many times are you gonna ask me what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Can you talk about something?
How much times do I tell you guys?
I tell
That's
you what I'm
right.
Even in my
doing.
audio show, how much times have I told you guys?
Yeah, but if you haven't, you
That's
need to
that.
click in on the Discipline Therapy Talk, okay?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that. Like, so the conversation has to be stimulating. And then, of course, like funny. Like, I love to laugh. I'm super, super silly. And I'm generally like just normally a funny person. So, like, he's got to be funny too. Like, that really make me feel like I wouldn't mind getting to know this person a little better.
Like it kind of makes you secure.
Yeah, I
right?
feel like okay,
More comfortable, at
this
least.
is like I'm more comfortable. I can be more myself and not be so like guarded and like, oh, who's this clown?
Yeah,
Like,
because I kind of feel like when we look at when we try to find our counterparts, I don't know if it's so much of what we really desire, but more so what makes us secure
yeah,
and makes
feels
us comfortable.
right.
Because we might have a difficulty or insecurity,
Right.
and they kind of just maybe shadow that or something.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying.
And there's like this happiness that comes with being with comfort and feeling safe. There's like this
being yourself.
Yeah, and not having to, always have this mask on. We wear masks in so many other situations in our lives. When we're at work, when we're interacting with other people. Like, it's just so to be able to just be mask off and
Be yourself.
and be yourself, not be judged. Like that's a dope feeling.
Yeah, I think everybody should have that.
Right.
As far as for me, what makes a man approachable, I think off rip looks is just it's right there. You can't avoid it. It's right in front of you. It's your eyes. The first thing you do. I feel like what makes a man approachable to me, if he has the gift of gab, I'm already like,
That's why I'd be like, chill, poet.
I like that. I like that. I like that. That if he has a gift of gab, there's a couple of things that are running through my mind. Yeah, it's going to be good conversation because he has a gift of gab. But how many conversations is he having with other people?
Right.
Yeah, because he's a
So
good storyteller.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I have to get the gap. So yeah.
um, definitely, I think a sense of humor, how he treats other people. Like if I'm watching from like a
Yes.
distance, how I see him treating the waiter, or how I see him treating his mother, his sister, a friend,
Right.
something like that. That makes for me, it makes me more comfortable. Like, all right, he's a more of a normal type of guy. He doesn't have
Right.
like a stick up his ass. If he's
Right.
too serious, that kind of
Oh,
I get taken aback a little bit because you never know with somebody who's so serious all the time.
yeah, that's like
You know what I mean?
boring.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever approached a man, or do you approach
Yes,
men?
absolutely.
Okay, so you too?
Wait, yep, me,
Yes, I
I
have.
have.
Okay, okay. So women who don't approach men, would this be would this be for them to say what would make a man what would make you allow a man to approach you for the
Well,
women
I,
who
I
aren't
have I
approaching?
have friends,
Mm.
specifically
And
one of my good friends.
and
She does not approach.
and this doesn't include staying behind the screen.
Right,
Because
right, like at a
Right,
modern
right.
club,
You
women,
mean
like at a
like in
club.
person?
modern
Right.
women,
Yes.
that's what makes them more comfortable. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
approached him, but the
Right.
reality is you slid in his DMs.
Right.
You was
Right.
on a dating app. That's how you.
Right.
You
Right.
see
Right.
what I'm
Right.
All you
saying?
have to
Right.
do is shut that dating app off, and there you go.
You're talking
Yeah,
about like that.
that
I
human
see you at the other
interaction
side of the
connection.
bar. We lock eyes.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. If it's a situation like that, I feel well, if they're not if they're the type of woman that doesn't approach, I think what they would look and send that signal to the man that they want to for them to approach her, it definitely is
they would
visual
flirt
Right.
through.
off
They
rip.
would flirt through proximity.
Yes.
Yeah, like
So, like
smile.
you were
Right.
saying,
Smile at
they
him.
make
Smile,
the eye
twirl
contact.
the hair.
Yeah,
Right. Flip your hair
Yeah.
to the side.
You know,
yeah.
have a drink and then look and
Look at
then look
him. And
back.
they have a whole
What did I
TikTok
tell
about
you?
it. They
I
like
told you.
look down. Like those are the
Thank you.
signs.
Yeah,
Now look, now smolder. Like
yeah.
I don't know how to smolder,
I don't
so
know
I have a problem
either.
with that.
I had that was a hard challenge
So,
for me.
what would disqualify a man immediately when you first start talking to him?
Ugh,
His attitude.
like being super thirsty, like um
Yeah, like if they don't get the hint the first
or
time or
not they're
something.
just not patient because for me, like I'm a really busy person.
Hmm.
And like sometimes, somebody will text me and like I may not answer them right away. I may answer them a couple hours later. I've been infamous to do like a couple days later and there's not
Holy
I know,
jeez.
I know. It's I apologize all the time because I'd be like, I'm really, really sorry. It's
Hmm.
just that a lot of times I'll look at a message and be like, okay, this is not something that I have mental capacity because I have to give it a lot of mental capacity to
Mm,
like address, and I don't have that bandwidth right now. So I leave it until I have the space to
right,
process it
to mull
because
it over and
yeah,
figure it
because
out.
I want to be able to give people my undivided attention rather than just a piece of my attention for the hot minute because they just texted me.
I
So
like that answer.
and I try to be but some people get really offended and they feel like, oh, you
Like they get
know,
mad.
yeah, they
Some
get really
people or
mad.
men?
Men,
Okay.
men, and I've experienced, and just guys that'll just be like, you know, where I'll blatantly be like, yo, I'm not,
Into you.
I'm not
Into you?
interested in
Okay.
you in that way, or that's not where I'm at right now. So,
Okay.
and they'll still say like crazy shit, like just dudes be mad extra for no reason, like
Mm.
Mm.
asking for shit that I have absolutely no obligation to give you. So it's like,
And
what are you
it's scary
doing?
because you don't know what kind of man you're gonna confront, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
come up
like
again with, because so many times women, when they say it, even if it's in a nice way, like no thank you, I'm not interested, some men will turn around and get very angry and agitated and fuck you bitch, I didn't even like you that way anyway, you know what I mean,
right,
like there's no need for all of that.
right,
Very
right.
scary.
Or just be like, nah, but come on, and be like super
Pushy.
aggressive and
Hmm.
pushy, and or just ask for shit that's like, yo, like disrespectful
Do you
stuff.
have a preference of a man? Do you have a color preference? Do you have a race preference? Do you have a
Height.
social, um, economic preference? Do you have an intellectual capacity preference?
Um, oh, I don't know. I feel like I
Wow, you got her, you
damn,
stumped
you
her,
got
man.
me stumped.
She's like
I mean, I don't know if I have a preference. I have like a pattern But then there's times that I veer off that pattern. So it's I can't say that I have a preference. For me, it's like a lot of times if the person like treats me really good and makes me really happy and I feel like I could be myself, then like that pattern doesn't really like play a part in that.
Okay, so you don't you would date an Asian, you would date a white, Hispanic, black. Doesn't matter.
I would. I
Okay.
just have a pattern of dating dark skinned men. They're like
Why?
really tall. I don't
Why?
know. I don't know. I've always
Visually, that's what she's attracted
I
to.
guess,
Hmm?
and but
Okay.
that was like it more in my adult life when I was a little bit earlier when I was first started dating when I was a little younger. I dated like most Hispanic guys, but I
Okay.
think it was because of where I lived and who
Mm.
my
Mm-hmm.
circle
Mm-hmm.
of friends and
Who you meet, who's around you,
yeah.
yeah.
So I think it was my environment because then when I moved from Queens to Long Island, um that's when I started dating more like black men.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, does confidence for men and women, does that make them approachable? I think 100% definitely. Yeah. When somebody's confident.
Yeah.
That is a sexy outfit a man or a woman can wear. You know what I mean? Like when you're confident and you walk in and you see, okay, oh, ew. Now I lost my train of thought. She gave
Sorry.
me.
The confidence is a great suit.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right. That's so attractive because even people who don't have the confidence in themselves, they see that and it's so attractive. They're like, "Wow, I wish I could be like that. And
Right.
people gravitate
It's
towards that.
inspirational. People do
Exactly.
gravitate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back to the disqualifying. One question, and we'll get back into this. What if a man talks about his how much money he makes, his net worth?
I don't like that.
Okay,
Then
so
that
That's not attractive to me
okay,
because I'm
will
not
that
a
disqualify him?
um it's a turn off.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if it would disqualify him for me. I think my first approach would I would try to talk to them about it. Like I don't need to know how much you make. That's not
Right.
important to me.
okay,
And if he keeps on, then it's okay. You could go
Yeah,
now.
I could see myself like that. But
Yeah.
it's
It is a turn
it
off
is a
though.
turn off though, like especially if it's like I'm not a materialistic person, so it's
Right. I
like
think
what are you showing
another
off for?
turn off being show off is being so like jealous to the point where like no, you
Uh
can't go to a family function. You
yeah,
can't, that's a very turn off. And even
like
seeing that,
controlling.
yeah,
Right.
seeing that, from across the room, how I guess that goes back to how his behavior is.
Right, red
mm.
flag.
Yeah, red flag. Yup, a couple of red flags.
What allows somebody to be kept?
What allows somebody to be kept?
Hmm.
Like
Circumstances?
you can stick around.
Yeah,
Yeah, to what? The
What circumstances?
circumstances?
yeah. We're talking like relationships. Like
Mm.
Can you
you approach somebody.
can you just go a little bit because I didn't understand
So
the
you
question?
approach somebody. You guys start dating, getting to know each other. So what allows that
Oh,
man to be kept?
to
Yeah.
stay in the
Mm. Consistency, showing
I was gonna say
consistency.
that
I'm
too.
sorry.
No, no, no. That's you go.
Definitely like being consistent,
Is that
you
fair
know.
that you asked that, knowing that you said a man should be patient with me because I don't kind of give him that attention? Like I'm a
Mm.
late texter and stuff.
But
That's
I'm a late text
inconsistent.
I'm consistently a late texter.
Oh, okay.
That's like
She's still consistent,
it's
you
an
know that?
expectation, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Like I mean like if this is how, you're gonna treat me, continue treating me like that. I think
Mm,
that's what it is. It's more like consistency in how they treat me.
okay.
Don't be like all loving and
And then cold.
affectionate and then like I don't know where you're cold
Okay.
and
Do
now I'm
you
What if
questioning
your
myself.
emotions are inconsistent?
My emotions.
Mm,
I mean I would like to have conversations about that so
okay.
that that can be addressed.
Okay.
Because if I'm just like being emotionally I mean, we there should be a space where we both can be like emotionally vulnerable.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I shouldn't be allowed to be emotional. Like I'm a human being, not I
not a
can't even
robot?
say I'm a woman, right? I'm a
Right.
Mm,
human
Right,
being. We
exactly.
we are allowed to feel. We should be allowed to feel. And you know, what's the issue with a lot of men is that they're not brought up to be tap into that. and embrace that and lean into that. And
Mhm.
that's also why it's hard for a lot of men to accept rejection, because they're
Mm.
not emotionally
Intelligent.
Stable for that. Yeah.
yes, they're not taught how to emotionally like process that.
Mhm.
And that, so a lot of men can't handle
Could also be
rejection.
privilege. Could also be like they're not used to women saying no to them.
Right.
Could
It
be.
goes the
Right.
same
Could be.
thing. It
That
goes the
too.
same thing with a woman. I'm gonna give you an example.
Right.
Women have acted like niggas
Oh
when I've
yeah.
Yeah,
turned them
that's true.
down.
Oh.
Fuck you then.
Right.
Oh my
You ain't even
God.
Facts.
you ain't even all that.
That's
You
facts.
you probably got a little dick. You verbally masculine. So
That's
Be
awful.
it's
masculine.
like
Jeez.
that's what I'm saying. Like maybe
It's
those
true.
women are not used to being turned down. So
Could
Right.
be.
that's
Could be.
why I said it might stem from that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If we do like go into a deeper psychoanalysis, like it might stem from so many things
Yeah.
of why
Right.
they're behaving this way.
I feel like a lot of times I agree with you. A lot of men do that, but I feel like a lot of just people in general, men and women, we're not taught to feel those emotions. Whatever emotion you're feeling now, feel it, deal with it, and now move on. We're
Right.
taught to, if you're sad, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Think of
Sweep it
something
under the
right.
rug.
Think of something happy. You'll be fine.
Right.
But and that's everybody. That's because how many times have I have children? I don't know if anybody. I know he doesn't, but I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I
do. But
do.
when they're little, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Rub it and
It's
it's
gonna
okay.
be
No, you know what I
okay.
mean? People have to learn how to recognize the feelings that they're feeling, address it, and then let it go. Don't
Mm,
harp on it.
Like, yeah, navigate
mm,
through it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Navigate through it.
okay.
Sure.
Studies at Cambridge College and research from scientists show that men who have raised testosterone levels and an inflated sense of self-value as a great sexual prospect will be more inclined to approach new potential partners. Attractiveness and confidence plays a major role as well. For example, if the man is aware he's extremely handsome, sexy, or confident.
Hmm.
I think that
Interesting.
goes with I think for women too. Like if they feel that they're the best thing around, that comes out. Like if they really
Right.
believe it, that oozes out of them.
I mean, that's why people like get these Brazilian butt lifts and they do all this other stuff to themselves, is so
Hmm.
that they can feel confident
Exactly.
and like, you know,
To attract people?
to
Exactly.
yeah, I guess. Or,
To
who
have that
knows? I mean, there
attention.
could be multiple reasons why people do it, but I think touching on that, like, yeah, to feel confident about themselves.
Hmm.
Mm,
And for whatever comes from there is whatever comes from there. But you walk different when you feel good about
Yep.
yourself. You talk different when you feel good about yourself. And I'm not like judging anybody that does any type of whatever they want to do to themselves. That's your body.
Hmm.
But but when you feel better about yourself, there's so many other things
That
that
come
like
out from
come
that. Yeah.
out.
I mean, how many times have men they go get a haircut, they feel
Yeah,
good, women get their
yo,
hair
there's nothing
done,
like a
their
man fresh
net
out the barbershop, checking himself out with a fresh cut. Like,
right.
yes,
But they come out like, yup, I'm the man. Women too. They
yes.
go and get their hair, blown out. We walk out like we don't know how to
Mhm.
act.
I get my nails done. I'd be like, "Can I get that for you?
Pointing with that finger. Excuse
Where?"
me.
mm.
You
Yeah.
want to read the next bullet?
You keep going.
Oh, all right. Women, well, most women do not approach men. However, there are who will or who have. Studies show that women who are extremely confident, successful, perhaps economically or financially stable, or hold a high position in their day-to-day life are likely to approach men than a woman who is not or does not possess those things. I agree with that. I agree with that
I've
statement.
approached guys.
Yeah,
I've definitely
I've
been
approached
like,
guys.
I don't know if you don't have a girlfriend, call me. Like, or I've been like, what's up? It was good.
That's a turn off
Let's
for
go
me.
out.
Is it?
Yeah.
You don't like being
Well, no, I
approached?
No. It I've been approached, but it depends. Like that's
on
aggressive.
on how they come across.
I mean, I'm not like super aggressive. I'm nice about it. I'm
Your
just
opinion. But
saying it funny.
my opinion is aggressive. So
Wow.
automatically, and you're a beautiful woman,
Thank you.
but
Mm.
the beauty is irrelevant.
Right,
It
right.
turns me off. Only because I have high masculine tendency.
Mm.
So like I gravitate towards that femininity. So
Mm.
when
So
I
a
see a
more
woman,
like a more
submissive
submissive
woman, yeah.
woman.
Mhm.
So when I see a woman's like, hey, what's up, man? Like, or shorty, like, okay, I'm from Flatbush, Brownsville, Crowns Heights, and I used to date a lot of hood chicks. And these be like, hey, shorty, what's up? Or hey, what's up, poppy? Let me get your number. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm.
like,
I could see that
I
being
left I
aggressive
left those
though.
type of women
Right,
in the
right,
hood. You see what I'm
right.
saying? I'm at a different level in my life now. So if she's hood, but she's more than hood, like she has a little bit of hood in her, but she's more educated and
More grown.
eloquent, and
Mm.
you see what I'm saying? I'll fuck with that. But if she's all hood and little education and
Right.
she's very high masculine, because I correlate hood with masculine, then it's a turnoff.
Right.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Because I look at her as a man in a dress. I look at her as a man, like internally as a man, but outward
Right,
female.
right.
So I feel like I'm fucking a man if it comes down to that.
Well, I mean, we all have men and women. We all have
Mhm.
both energies, like
Yes.
masculine and
Correct.
feminine
But that
energy.
woman has a high
A high.
masculine and her
But what if she
femininity. So
approached you and was like, hey, we should go out to dinner
this is
sometime?
the thing. I've had women approach me and it's how you're approaching.
Right.
So
The same thing for men though is how y'all
yeah,
approach.
I've had women approach me like, "Hi, how you doing? I saw you over there. What's your name?" Okay.
Yeah.
Or they've introduced themselves. And I've had women who were like, "Hey, you're really sexy. Let me get your number. Let's go out on a date." It's like,
Mm.
who's gonna be wearing the pants if we build a dynamic now? You're choosing when you want to go out on a date. You're asking me for your number. Like, I don't give women my number. I take women's number. So it makes me feel off. It's just me.
Right.
Some
Mm.
men might like
Mhm.
that
Is that
because
like
they
a gender role type of
yes.
thing?
Some men might like that because they're like,
More shy or reserved, they say.
Right.
or they're just like, it's a stroke to the ego. Oh my God, I got beautiful women
That's true.
approaching
Yeah.
me. Like,
Mhm.
shit, I'm the shit. You see what I'm saying? Whereas me, like you said, it comes down to the gender roles. And I'm very traditional. Like my parents are going on 40 years gonna be together. Haitian Dominican household. So I've
God
seen
bless
that grow.
them.
Say that?
I said God bless them.
Yeah, so I've seen that growing up. It's just I'm conditioned that way.
Mm.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That is, that is really like a traditional perspective.
Yeah.
I could see that, but I feel like, these days a lot of times people like, especially after this pandemic, like, listen, you like somebody, you're attracted to them, they're a cool person, and you think that something dope will come out of connecting with them further, like shoot
Mm.
your shot.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, and if that person is turned off by it, or if that person doesn't really receive it well, then it's not
It's not
meant for
meant to
you.
be, right.
So now
Yeah.
you have your answer and you can move on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like if you feeling somebody and nobody's saying anything, then speak up.
Y'all are in the 2%. That's why y'all think like this.
Mm.
And y'all
Absolutely.
could do this. And y'all confident in whatever it is that made you confident to do this. But majority of women
Yeah.
aren't doing
Like I
that.
said, I
So
have a really close girlfriend. She will not walk up to a man. She
so
will not. She has
so
to wait
Right.
for them.
so the way that so what helps them fight that fear possibly of rejection are the dating apps, are
Mhm.
Right.
sliding in the
That's
Yep.
DM.
true.
Because
Yep.
even if I do get rejected, I don't feel that human energy that could, fuck, that was the guy I really wanted. He rejected me. It might inspire depression.
It's the
But if it's like that guy I really wanted rejected me on social media, it's not that big of a deal because,
Right. There was no real
yeah,
interaction.
I
Right.
mean, but these days people are conditioned to put a lot of value in that type of interaction
With
because
the
with
apps on social media, yeah.
and with digital interaction,
Mhm.
virtual interaction, like we're living in a time where
People don't know how
especially
to speak to each other anymore.
yeah, so it's like to someone like you who's more old school and like doesn't come from that era where social media or digital interaction was really a big thing, like it seems like, oh, someone rejects me on social media is whatever. But for people that are being like
Raised in
raised
that.
in it, like that's important to them,
Yeah, that's
like
true.
they be in their feelings over like getting
Right.
blocked on social media.
Or not
People,
not getting the likes that
you
they
know what I'm
want.
saying? Like it's
Yeah.
a different dynamic.
good analysis about me. Very good.
Wait, no. That's
Snap
how
it
you
up,
do it.
poets.
Very good.
Hey, you got him to do it. Very nice. All
I
right.
be assessing the
The
my
situation.
environments.
Physical attractive physical attraction is the prerequisite to sexual intimacy for men. However, not always for women. Attractive for women is not determined by a man's physical attractiveness, whereas men can continue to date a woman who is as dumb as a bucket of shrimp or a bag of bricks or no personality as long as she's fine as hell. This is because women are mental and emotional and they need that jump start to the engine to get off. And
Mm,
most men will just fuck anything moving as
that's
long as it
true.
has a hole. Regardless of the woman, as long as sex is the most thing, because men are physical, nothing personal, just business. And when women have sex, it's personal, not business.
Mm.
What do y'all think?
I- that's not really attractive to me for a man to be like that. Because it's like a man that doesn't respect his body and like who he shares his body with, like, I'm not really feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
There's a man that doesn't know himself too,
right, he doesn't know himself, he doesn't know what he wants, he doesn't know what he's worthy of. Um
and he's probably sorry,
and it's just he's doing, he's not respecting his temple,
yeah, and he's probably not spiritual because a
Right,
lot of men aren't. So they're not
Yep.
really gonna understand sex as an exchange of energy.
right,
Like right now, I'm speaking
Mm-hmm.
foreign to a lot of people.
right.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So if he's not spiritual, which most men aren't, they're not gonna care. They're just gonna
Right.
accumulate bodies as much as possible.
I think though that is also instilled in men growing up, like by not even by family, like but by their boys,
They're
by movies.
boys,
You know what I
by
mean? Like, you
yeah,
didn't hit that, you didn't bag that.
Mhm.
yeah,
It's almost like
like
I'm ashamed of
notches.
you. How dare you not bag it and hit it? You know what I
But a
mean?
Exactly.
lot of women do like a man who has experience. I mean, would any of you
Yes.
date a man who didn't have
No.
any sexual experience?
No.
Not at
So it's
all.
it's
Not
so
even.
it's like you can have your cake and eat it too, almost.
No, I mean he could have experience,
Yeah,
but like
just
I'm
not like 1,000 bodies.
or be at least like
While
yeah,
you're with
know who
while you're
you're
with me.
like be selective of who
Exactly.
you're
Be
gonna share
selective.
yourself with,
I concur.
Yes, I agree
because
with
it
that.
Most
shouldn't just
men,
just be women doing that.
yeah,
We should all do that.
most men don't have standards
Right,
Yeah,
and they aren't selective.
that's
But
true.
right,
what?
But as far as that, I back in the day when I was younger, I went out with a guy who was very attractive visually.
right.
But then when he opened his
Oh
mouth, I was like, "Oh
God, what an
no, what
idiot!
the hell did I do?"
Right.
Lose my number, please.
I've
Mm,
Idiot.
definitely been there.
So
Like, dang,
that
he's
is
fine, but
such
he's
yeah,
so dumb.
like you're like, "Oh my god, I bagged like a really nice looking guy." And as soon as he opens his mouth, it's like, "Oh, that's why."
That's why.
Okay, bang,
yeah.
thank you.
When it comes to
Take it
men,
back.
when it comes to men, what a lot of women don't, what a lot of women fail to realize is that women outnumber men, and more in America. And what a lot of women fail to realize is that it doesn't matter how high they're elevating in life or wherever they're at. They just don't realize that there are a handful of these men that they really, really want, that they're in their mind is the perfect guy. Listen to what Sue said. I met the perfect guy visually. When he opened his mouth, he's dumb as a bucket of shrimp. So it's like women, like a lot of, I'm not saying, I don't want to say women and generalize. Most women live in a fantasy world, fairy tale, Cinderella, Disney. So they don't they don't believe that they can't have their cake and eat it too. They don't.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? And
Like
it's
they feel like it doesn't exist. Like,
yes. And what happens often is you might like, let me take your example, Sue. You might meet that guy who looks visually attractive, sexy, pack, maybe tattoos, tall, handsome face, dumb as a bucket of shrimp.
Ugh.
But then you say to yourself, I know I don't have like it's been I've dated and like this the sex is great. So let me kind of try to mold him how I like. There's a lot of women out there that do that too.
oh yeah,
That's true too.
we've all done that when we were younger, and
Y-
had to learn.
You see what I'm saying? So it's hard because
I should make him smart.
Yeah, you have it's hard because you
Yeah.
have women that want to have their kick in it too, and then they do want a man who's experienced, not too experienced, but experienced sexually. I want all these other things. I want him to treat me nice and all this. It's almost like you're asking for a 2% man. So there's something that you gotta settle for. If you like bad boys, if you want a man with a good heart and good, may not be that. It's rarity almost. It's an oxymoron. Bad boy, good man. Bad boy, good heart. It's an oxymoron. Never found this all my life, but I do love these type of men. But can I get a bad boy who's successful, gonna treat me nice, who fucks me well, who knows how to treat me, holds my hand when we go out in public, hold the door, hold me accountable, display leadership, dominance, give me emotional stability, let me feel comfortable around him. I can come and cry to him and he's going to give me solutions. Am I speaking of a 1% man here? Have you ever experienced this guy?
I have experienced men like that. There
Oh,
are
that's
men like
nice.
that exist.
Are
I
you
have
currently
children.
single
I
or
have.
are you in a relationship?
I'm in a relationship,
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
and I have children. I have son. I have 2 kids, and they have different fathers, and they were good men. You know,
Okay.
things didn't work out for whatever reasons, but there are men that exist like that. And like what we a lot of women want, and what the problem that a lot of men don't understand is that we literally just we want like basic shit, like respecting me, um holding my hand, being affectionate, and providing a safe space for me to be vulnerable. That should be like the
Standard.
standard. Like why does that have to be sold to women like that's a fantasy?
Because that's not in a lot of men. That's
To
subjective of what you personally want and how you want to be treated. But that specific man that you want, because I said every woman has a preference of a man, that specific man that you want may not have that. So you might end up having to train that in him. Yo, this is what I like. This is the standard. Maybe that's just not in me. I'm not a flower buyer. You like flowers? It's not in me. So we're gonna break up because I'm not a flower buyer.
No, but
You
I
see what I'm
feel
saying?
like everybody has to teach somebody ways about themselves. You know what I
right,
mean?
Mhm.
right.
Like you're never gonna meet somebody who off rip
Has
gets you
everything.
and has
Right,
everything. There's people are made different for a reason. That's
right,
how that's what makes the world go around. So you're gonna you're never gonna meet that person off rip that's gonna know exactly what you want or behave how you want or any of that. That's just I feel like a natural occurrence where people have
right.
to do that.
Important question.
It's like love languages, like having to
Yes.
learn each other's
Yes,
love
Yes.
exactly.
languages. And if
And does it coincide?
yeah, if and then are you willing to just like you would if you move to another country and you have to learn to speak that language, are you willing
To learn that.
to learn my love
Mhm.
language and speak that with me, so that if I'm willing to learn yours, let's say I'm not fluent in your love language, okay, so teach me
Teach
how to
me.
speak your love
Right.
language.
This is an important question. Where did you meet the man you're currently with?
We both kind of are creative people, so we met like doing creative shit.
Ah, that's important. You said a key word that I kept mental documentation of. There are men out here like this. Women want to know where the fuck they at. That's why I asked you where you met him, because there are men. Obviously, I don't know. They fucking up the numbers, so it might not be 7, 8 billion people in this world. It might just be 3, but they fucking up the numbers.
they
I'm a conspiracy theorist, so
they
don't
hyping the
mind me.
numbers.
Don't mind me,
They're
right?
lying.
They're lying about the numbers, but there's, let's just say, billion, just to be politically correct. There's billions of people in this world. However, it's hard for you to connect with everybody. Like you said, love language coincide. Are they gonna do the same thing? So where can we meet these good men? Can we meet them at the club? Can we meet them at Barnes and Nobles? Because I don't go to Barnes and Nobles. I don't read. I'm just speaking for a woman out there. I don't read, so you ain't gonna catch me in Barnes and Nobles. But I do want a good man. So can I meet him at the club? Can I meet him on Instagram? Can I meet him on a dating app?
Meeting somebody at something that you enjoy doing is a great place to start,
Because you already have
because you
similar
have
interests.
yeah, exactly, you have similar interests. And that's a great conversation starter,
Mhm.
and that's a great like kind of spark to the first flame. So like if you are a big, like, you're a big bowler and you like bowling,
Yeah.
go to different, don't just go to
Bowling
the
alley,
ones you're
right.
always gone to. Go out
Put
into
yourself
some,
out there.
yeah,
Right.
join a community, an online community of people that have like that same interest that you have.
Mm.
And that's a great place to start, I
Yeah.
think.
I agree.
Okay, so you ladies talked about what is like disqualifying a man physically or whatever approaching. Also, I'm gonna put my input for women. What makes a woman not approachable to me is if she appears less feminine, meaning more on the outward appearance. Not just the way she talks and the way she thinks, but her outward appearance. For example, if she has her hair cut like a man, extremely short. I like long hair. Makes me feel like I'm with a woman. Oh, she's rocking Tim's. Now, UGG boots in the winter.
Tim's. Oh, Tim.
My personal preference, I'm
Okay,
speaking.
okay.
So, UGG boots in the wintertime, she gets a pass. But Tim's, no, I rock Tim's. I don't know if that's a Brooklyn thing, but most people say that's a Brooklyn thing. So anything that she is like about me is a turn off. If she uses nigga constantly in her vocabulary, I say nigga sometimes. Like I don't like some men might think, oh my gosh, she the homie. Then why don't you fuck your boys? Why don't you fuck men if you want her to be like your homies? That's just my ideology. Don't attack me. You see what I'm saying? But I like to be able to come home to somebody that's the opposite of me because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, yo, I'm with a woman. So a woman who talks like me, nigga, this aggressive, looks aggressive, works Tim's, she's not she's opposed to getting her nails done, her hair done. Um, she's just like wears fitteds all the time. Tattoos I like. Most men or old school traditional may not like this who are dominants also may not like this. A lot of old school dominants don't like it, but I like it. If she smokes weed, that's fine. That's another thing they might not like because I smoke weed. Smoke weed together. But if
I'm big
she
on the weed.
but if
Yes.
she's like all the extra shit, and I feel like, she's too much of a dude. She's too much like my boys. This is a turn off. So I could be fucking her in private, excuse me. I get vulgar. So I could be fucking her in private, and it's just in my mind, I'm like, damn, my dick is soft because I feel like I'm fucking a man. You see what I'm saying?
Keep your eyes open and then you can see it's a girl.
I know.
No way. Don't close your eyes.
It's just, to me, I look more in depth. You see what I'm saying? I'm a different type of man. Yeah, I could look at one word and tell you 30 different meanings about it. I could look at two images of
That's
people
true.
and create a story. I got 7 books. Did it in 2 years. So I'm not myopic. I look at things on a deeper level. So it's like it's always gonna be a turn off to me if, like I said, she could be beautiful wearing the dress. Internally, I'm gonna be like, oh, she's like a devil inside, or she's so masculine inside. It's a turn off.
Are those
All
your
right.
final thoughts? Are we? Because I don't have anything
Do
else.
women like feminine men?
Oh,
You don't have those?
nope. Do women? I know I don't like feminine men.
Yeah, and I'm not really. That's
For
not
myself.
for myself.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
not over. I mean, I can appreciate a guy that can be in touch with
Yes.
like femininity and like be understanding of it
Mm-hmm.
and be comfortable like talking about like feelings and stuff like that, which is deemed to be a more feminine thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely appreciate that, but like not like a man is gonna be like, yeah, girl, like nah.
Girl, let me tell you what I
Don't
saw.
call me girl, babe. So
You ladies are right. Research shows that women prefer great degrees of masculinity for for well, actually, for short-term partners, they say. For long-term partners, they like to find a man that's more feminine and definitely healthier. And there's this
I could see why that would be though. For like a long term, if you're together
yeah.
with somebody, I could see why
Most
they would
women,
want that.
yeah, and just to layman's terms for the audience, most women are attracted to
feminine.
alpha males, confidence, dominance.
right.
But then when they get them, they want them to be beta. They want to, like, everything that you were saying, like, and beyond. Um, now
Is there
now
such
here's
thing as a balance
now
though,
here's the
like a
thing.
alpha beta?
Hold
You
on.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? A
yes, there
man,
is. Yes,
somebody
Oh,
that, and for both men and women, because there's alpha females as well, beta and all that. So like a nice balance of like, I know when I need to lead, and you can, when you
th-
can need to
that's
lead.
a rarity. That's a rarity. I
To
agree.
who?
No, it's just a rarity. Science and biology, this is a rarity. Now, here's the thing. I agree with you of the holding the hands and the gentleman, because I feel like chivalry is an alpha male trait. A lot of men really don't know how to be men. They grew up in single households with just the mother. Research shows that single mothers are inclined to raising feminine men, because how can they raise boys to be men? You see what I'm saying? A woman is not a man. So that makes sense. But I feel like the alpha males get a bad rap because of just how they are. They're egotistical, narcissists, or whatever it is. So a lot of women try to change them. It's rare that you find that alpha male who has all those things you were saying. So those are not, there's not an array of them.
wait, all what things? The being a beta also,
Being
or
being able to
allow
um
you to have that space and all that. That.
articulate his
Mm-hmm.
feelings, also cater to yours, holding hands, being a gentleman, maybe spiritual. That could be subjective, doesn't have to be universal. Maybe spiritual.
Yeah, because women, not all women are spiritual either.
Right.
Yeah. Um, being great in bed. He's not gonna tell you to stick shit up his ass and peg him. Hey, baby, tonight, why don't you fuck me? You know what I'm saying? He's gonna lead. Hey, baby, where do you want to go eat? Hey, we're going over here. You're off tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Be ready. I'm ready to pick you up. You see what I'm saying?
I do like that.
It's very difficult
Yeah.
for you to find these men that are comfortable in leading in all these aspects.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like you talk about the alpha beta.
Yeah, but a
You
great
could
leader
have
also knows when to when to
When to
follow. You know what I
soften.
mean?
Oh.
Yeah, like that's what
no,
makes them a great
no.
leader.
Your opinion.
Absolutely.
Your opinion, but
Yeah.
it's not a fact. A great leader knows that, yo, she's better at this than me, so I'm gonna direct her in this way and let her do that. Not following. He's delegating.
Oh,
Mm.
that's
Because a leader doesn't follow. Realistically,
Well, it's in
science,
the name.
biology,
They lead.
they lead
right.
no matter what, and they inspire. They inspire not just followers but bosses, because a real boss knows how to inspire other bosses.
Yeah,
So in a way, he's
absolutely.
empowering her.
Mm.
Yo, I don't know how to sew a button for my life. One of my subs does. I'm empowering you now.
Mhm.
You're better at cooking than I do. I cook, but I don't know how to cook a lot of things. You're better at that than me.
So when does
Okay?
a leader
So I
take
could
a break to sit back and just not have to be
Leading all the
leading all
time.
the time? Like can he take a break and be
Let
like
someone else take the
let
reign.
someone else take the reign?
probably
Yeah.
with the kids. Oh, the kids need nurturing right now. Go ahead and do that.
Well, that doesn't make sense. That's very I mean, I don't know.
That
It's
could also maybe be subjective on your part.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
because
super subjective, and
like, but because what you're saying is you want a part-time leader or a leader for subjective circumstances, not a leader 24/7. A leader 24/7, this is like, for example, me, this is my identity. I don't know how to follow. It could be a problem for a lot of people. He has a problem. Okay, I recognize my problem. But there's a lot of people who like that because they like to follow and they want to be submissive. So people that want to share the leadership, it's never gonna work with me. What?
So when, being that you said that you're dominant and you're a leader, maybe what she would like to know, somebody like that, how do you? When is it that you take time for yourself to kind of maybe regroup or something like that? To
you
kind
don't
of,
get it. Doesn't It's not exhausting.
yeah, with
No,
that.
It's not tiring.
no,
I mean, I
no.
I
Let me
I mean,
let
it's
me
just
explain.
it's
Let
the
me just explain real quick. No, no, go ahead, and I'll allow.
I just think that that's why we're all different,
Yeah.
and that's why we have to all appreciate everybody's different perspective and how people view things,
Yes.
because like for you, someone like you, I would never date someone like you.
Exactly, because you never met a man
It would
like me.
never. I've met many men like you, and that is a big reason why I would never date someone that has the ideologies that you have. But that's why we're all different. We all have our
Yes,
own opinions, and that's why certain things, you know, for me, that wouldn't work for me.
and that's fine. And that's
And
why we accept everybody,
yeah,
because we're individuals, and that's cool.
right,
Me, it's like this. With me, it's like when you talk about tiring, that's the opposite. For me, and I've talked about this in previous shows, even in my audio show. I handle pressure with control. Some
right,
people get anxiety for that. I get anxiety when I'm not in control. It could be
right,
it could be
Mm-hmm.
public speaking, right?
mhm,
Public speaking, there's like 500,000 people there. The only thing that's going to get me anxiety is if I'm not prepared. You
right,
see the control factor?
right,
But if I already practice in the mirror, got my sheet of paper, maybe I memorized it or I'm bringing it up there, and I'm now giving a sermon like Malcolm X, I'm gonna dominate that shit.
right,
It doesn't matter if there's 5,000 people or 500. I got shit to say.
mhm,
A lot of people are gonna, oh my God, all this energy. Being the empath, I'm absorbing all this anxiety, anxiety,
But
right,
that's also because you have that confidence in yourself and your abilities of what you can do.
and yeah, and
Yeah.
also how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Like my
yeah,
grandmother put me on the altar at 12 years old and
mhm,
said, "Do this in front of 100 and 150, 200 people." So it's like I'm either getting the belt or I gotta do this because she's
right,
told her friends, hey, this 12-year-old, he's something special. So one, I'm gonna get the belt and embarrass her, or two, I'm gonna just have to suck
just
it up
do
and
it,
do this.
right,
You see? So like I said earlier, I'm conditioned this way. So it doesn't get tiring for me because this actually balances me. The opposite doesn't.
Mm.
So
mm,
it's like that's fine that you say you would never date a man like me, but it's also it's also understanding that man and accepting it, because all those other things that you stated, I'm that guy. Which some people out there could say, yo, he's the perfect dude for me. He may not be a perfect guy. He may not be a good man, a nice guy, but he's perfect for me because he could get in his femininity and he could he likes to hold hands and he's affectionate and he's doing this and leadership. So you see what I'm saying? Like it's subjective.
Right.
right,
And
You have
I
marked
checked the
everything
list
up
of
there. Yeah,
yes. So
exactly.
there's women out there and they've articulated to me, you're a unicorn. I'm like, why? You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it's like to me, it's like it comes down to like you were saying, we're all individuals, and it's like I'm either gonna accept how you are or not. And you're either
right,
gonna accept how I am and not. And if you want to accept it, then you're gonna mold around that. And I'm gonna mold about you because you might have toxic tendencies that I don't fucking
yeah.
like.
I think a lot of
But
people do.
but
Yeah.
but you have potential that I like. You might be a mother figure. You might be wanting to have more kids. I want to get married one day. You might want that. You might be a good cook. You might love cleaning.
Right,
You
right,
might love those things. So I'm like, you know what? She got a she got some but it's not a big deal.
right.
I'm willing
It's
to
not a deal
accept
breaker.
I'm
But
willing to accept her.
yeah, I think that too, when you get to a certain point in your life, right, after dating and being in, relationships that, don't work out, you kind of do learn, like, listen,
Negotiate.
what you're
Compromise.
willing to work through, what you're willing to, be like, all right, you know what, we could get through this. It's not about changing people, right? Because that when you
Mm-hmm.
get to a certain point in your life, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, I don't got no time to be trying to change nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been working on changing myself and being a better person and evolving and all of that as an individual. So I don't got the energy to be changing nobody else. But you do get to a certain point that, you have to be able to be like, all right, this isn't really my favorite thing about you, but
Right. You
you
should be able
know,
to discuss it and talk about it with your
yeah, it's
partner.
not like I'm not running for the
Yeah.
hills.
Exactly. Exactly. When a
Yeah.
problem arises, you and your partner should be in that space where you can talk to each other calmly, rationally, without, screaming and yelling and cursing
Right,
and, fuck you, I'm leaving.
right,
There comes a time where, but that's also has to do with your own self work.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
That's that bridge of
Mm-hmm.
communication that, like, is usually very faulty in a lot of relationships, and that's why things,
Yeah.
go
Break.
to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not communicating
Properly.
properly, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. sometimes people they listen just to
You
for the
fly.
opportunity to talk when
Exactly. Yep.
afterwards.
Without taking.
Yeah, they're not actively
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah.
I think that's the glitch in the communication,
Yeah.
because people are pretty good at articulating, like, what they don't like and what they
Yeah.
do like. It's really the glitch is
Hearing what that
the
person
active
is telling you.
listening and
Yeah.
processing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Processing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We had an episode back in season 6, episode 67. Healthy
I don't even
conversations.
remember.
No, I know. I ask him about all the time.
It's
I'm
like
like, I
Rain
don't.
Man.
He'll be like, do you remember? I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, my eidetic memory. I'm weird.
That's awesome.
Episode 67, season 6, healthy conversations, accountability,
Mhm.
understanding, acceptance in a relationship.
Right.
So yeah.
Those are the pillars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um.
So go ahead.
What is the first body part that you notice when a man is approaching you? And
Oh,
then, Mr. Discipline. Well, you don't like when women approach you. So, what's the body part that you notice when you're gonna approach
I'm not
somebody?
saying I don't like it. It just depends on how.
All right. Well, we're gonna ask her first, and then you, and then me. She's like,
I
oh.
mean,
She's like, damn it, I don't know.
their face, the whole face.
The whole thing.
You
Okay.
know, I mean, if they have light eyes, obviously it stands out on their face, so that's kind of like the first thing you may notice. I may notice when I look at a guy's
Like eye
face.
color.
Eye color,
Mhm.
yeah, but it's not the first thing I look at when I'm looking at someone. It's usually the first thing I physically I notice their face.
So what is it that you now that you noticed it, now where do your eyes go to first? Oh, you know what that laugh
No,
means.
no. Probably like just their
Like,
shoulders, how they stand, their posture, and how they walk. To see if
so you
there's like
just you start with the head and just
I
work
just
your
work
way
my way
down.
down,
Ah,
yeah,
all right.
down to the feet.
I think the first thing that I said that I was you go.
No, ladies first.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I think the first thing that I notice off rip is their mouth, the smile. I'm a sucker for like a nice smile.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and just that's the first thing that my eyes go to is that.
Right.
And Mr. Yield Discipline,
I
he's
have
like
an
boobs.
array.
He's like boobs. My eyes go to the boobs.
I have an array of things. So, it's lips, it's eyes, and that's because I'm sensual and seductive. I love to kiss. I love foreplay. Eye contact is more intimate than words will ever be.
Right.
If I see her from the back, definitely her ass. But you know how round it is. If it's fake, if it's I don't like fake asses. If the thighs match,
To each his own.
you know,
The ratio.
yeah. But
The thigh ass ratio.
if you're
Awful.
seeing a woman, face to face, the face it matters. Most men, like I said, they'll fuck anything, but me, it's like, I like to look at a woman in her eyes and just pick apart everything, every curve, every nuance, about her. And so the lips is always something that I notice, and then her eyes, her eye color. Like, I love to make eye contact while I'm conversing. Like, some women feel that it's very intimidating.
Yeah.
Because I
I
have
think.
this
Go ahead.
firm gaze that can pierce through your soul.
That even
Okay,
sounds
Sean.
intimidating.
Sheesh. Okay.
Scorpio shit. So like
It all makes
yeah.
She's like,
She's a
Scorpio.
Leo.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
So so like I noticed that, and like I just I'm deeper than most people. Like, I feel like if I'm like staring into your eyes long enough, I'm seeing through your soul. So that shit matters to me. Like, I couldn't be with a woman who has a nice body and an ugly face. Most
A butter face.
most boys back in the day, my friends would be like, "Oh, just put a bag over her head. Just do it from the back."
Yeah, doggy.
No, but I gotta wake up next to you in the morning,
Right.
not kiss you. Like, I want to kiss you.
You want to be attracted to
Yeah.
someone.
So
Absolutely.
you know what I'm
That's
saying? Like,
important.
if I had to choose, slim, thick, or thick, ugly face, maybe not a stick figure woman, but whatever.
What, like on a thinner side?
Yeah, thinner side, pretty face. I'm choosing that.
Right,
You
because you
know,
could
and
always make her fat. You could always get. You could always be like, "Here, eat some pizza.
yeah,
Eat some pizza, babe. Let's go to
yeah,
the gym."
because I
Get that weight up.
I love the slim thick women.
Mm.
Or you see what I'm saying? I love a woman that has curves on her.
Right.
It's something you could grab and shit. That's attractive. But the face matters.
Right.
Yeah, but like I said, most men, they don't care to build.
A lot of my guy, like growing up, a lot of my guy friends would say that though. Like they would say they would love girls' face and like their hair. They would like that was like
They like the long hair.
that was or just like yeah, like long hair. A lot of the guys, because I used to in high school, junior high school, like I was a really big tomboy.
Me
So
too.
I played
Cut my hair.
sports.
I used to cut my hair like a Caesar.
I had my hair in a bun all the time, and I hung out with fellas, and we would have type of
Conversations, yeah.
before.
It's fun. It's fun learning what
podcasting.
the opposite sex thinks.
Yeah, I was always fascinated because they would always ask me questions about girls,
Yeah.
and they would all, I would ask them like, "What do you guys look at?" Because I wanted to know, what
Right. What
what
for
do I
the guy
gotta
that you're
do?
interested in?
You
Yeah.
know, and they would be like, "Yeah, the face, hair, and then the body."
Yeah, research shows. Like when I was researching this, they said most men, and this is just America, not like worldwide, but just America. They said that the hair is first, then it's like the lips and the eyes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Hair. I never look at that. I don't care. Like
My
even if
brother
it's a
told me that
woman,
once.
like
Yeah.
I don't look at a man's hair or a woman's hair.
Cause like I was saying, sorry to cut you off, but like I was saying earlier, it could be a man's subconscious thing where they don't understand it. But I said earlier that I don't like to date women with hair short as mine.
Right.
So I feel like it's like a manly thing. So men may not understand this, but subconsciously for a man, if they see that, that's probably why they said in the research, hair,
Probably.
because it makes you feel like you're with a feminine woman.
I guess,
Maybe,
yeah. That's probably like their first idea of what
A woman
what
should be.
femininity looks like
Yeah.
before they, and then they look at the variations.
Mhm.
Right. Then
They
everything else
consider the
comes.
variations. I got you.
How long do you wait before sleeping with someone?
Oh wow.
Have you ever
Yeah, we
slept
going
with
deep now.
Have you ever slept with somebody on the first date? Oh, you could always plead a fifth here.
Yeah, you
I
don't
don't want
have
you to get in
answer.
trouble, yo, because you did say you in a relationship. So I don't want no beef. I don't want hit me up like, yo.
Thanks a lot. Now
Thanks a
now we
lot.
broke up.
You know
Thanks
what
a
I'm
lot.
saying?
You and your damn show.
So you could
Which we
always plead
love.
a fifth.
Remember, people, tune in, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Listen, I mean, I had my fun when I was younger.
Okay.
We'll
leave it at that.
Yeah, like
So
I as well have had my fun when I was younger.
okay.
But since I haven't, I don't know how to answer that either because I'm
Okay.
not.
No problem. Y'all can plead a fifth. Me personally, a lot of people not gonna believe this because they're looking at me, blah blah blah, whatever, right? The way I speak, my voice is deep and shit like that. Oh, he looks like a rapper. So they're not gonna believe this, but I've never had sex on the first date. Everybody's gonna say he's fucking lying. Well, I said I had an audio show back there. I said I like to test myself when I'm with women. I know that for a man, once a man gets the pussy, excuse my vulgar, because I'm like that, he's gone. Because the lust is gone. He's already on to the next in his mind.
Right.
He may not verbalize that to you, but he got his end goal. Because that's a lot of men's end goal. Got the pussy, da-da-da-da-da. Most men go into dates like, oh, if I'm paying for dinner, you owe me.
Right.
Yep.
So me, I look at it like, I know that once I get that, I'm the same way. What else does she bring that's gonna keep my interest? Because
Right.
I believe it's easy for y'all to get us. It's harder for y'all to keep us. It's harder for us to get you, but easy for us to keep you. So I say to myself, I'm physically attracted to this woman. I want to have sex, but I want to plan a second and a third date to see if it's still the same.
Right. Or if it's even worth, doing that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't care if I went out with a woman and I spent money. At the end of the day, you require money to do things. I've been on dates like Barnes and Nobles that money wasn't required. Went on walks in the park, picnics where money wasn't required. However, it's not a loss, and this doesn't come with conditions. Whereas most men, especially like the higher they get in life, they start making like millions a year, whatever. They don't really have time because they never honed on these skills, these social skills. Their social skills suck. So they were never able to know how to speak to women. So they don't even want to go to the dating process. Let me just throw a snack, throw the panties down.
Right.
Or I paid for dinner. Shit. You owe me sex. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying for dinner. We're going on 3 dates. When's the sex coming? You see? Whereas me, I'm a serious man. And I always tell men to be serious. So I like serious relationships. So if I'm having sex on the first date, that's already the end goal. You didn't even give me a challenge.
Right.
You see? So I like to challenge myself. So I've never had sex on the first date.
Right.
I've dated women that after the second date, it was just like, this isn't going to work out. Bye. And I gave them a hug, kissed them, and grabbed their ass. And then I bounced.
Cop that feel.
Yeah, at least I got
He's
something.
like, I'm gonna get something out of this.
You see what I'm saying? And that was it. It was like, this is just not gonna work out.
Yeah.
You know, but I've just never been that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Like
that is
good.
that's
like
different.
like
not
I've
bad,
said,
right?
I'm like you were saying, I'm old school and I'm very traditional. So when I'm even when I meet a woman currently, like could be supermarket, Instagram, whatever, right? Because I don't do dating apps, Barnes and Nobles. I'm vetting her and I'm talking to her for a couple of days prior to even going out to see if it's even worth it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I
As you
always
should. As you should.
yeah.
Nope. Have you ever made someone someone you were dating wait for sex?
Yeah. I wasn't ready. And I still trying to figure out if that's what I wanted to do, if that was the person that I wanted to go with. And yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, you just already said.
Yeah.
If social media and dating apps weren't available to us, it would be longer. Oh, wait,
Oh,
would
I'm
be
sorry.
longer.
I've actually made a woman wait longer because I knew that what she wanted.
Was to have sex with you?
When she found out about my lifestyle, that's what she
She
wanted.
was
She
interested.
was
She was
ready
like,
the
I
first
just want
night.
to taste that, and that's
She was
it.
ready the first
She wanted
night.
to hit it.
So, like, I made her wait because I kind of felt like, damn, you're moving more like a man. So I want to see if you know, after the lust is gonna be around. So I gotta date you a couple of times and see if this
See.
is still the same type of energy.
Was it the
Right.
same?
Yeah.
All right.
And
There
she
you
was
go.
willing to be more.
Well, then there you go.
You
Look
see
at
what I'm
you.
saying?
That's a bonus.
So
Bonus.
yeah, but what happens if I would have gave it the first night? Maybe not.
Then she would have been crazy, no?
Mm.
If you made her wait extra long, and you gave her some, and now she's trying to be like all of it, she would have been super crazy the first time
Listen, the
around.
thing of seduction is about anticipation. You gotta build the sexual frustration. Men, you gotta get in women's brains.
Yeah, because a lot of men don't.
I pride myself more in fucking a woman's mind than actually fucking it because I know I
Right.
could do that well.
I have a whole poem about that.
So
wait, because we do our
Oh, yeah.
final
Final
thoughts.
thoughts, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I
All right,
want
you
to
keep
I was
going.
just I was just
Go ahead.
commenting.
You keep going.
In an old survey, the average person said 8 dates is the acceptable time to wait to have sex. People also said that they don't always kiss on the first date. Really? That's so
Yeah.
odd to me. Even if it's going well. Blah, 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 blah. Millennials also wait 48 hours to ask about a second date, while older people wait 3 days on average. Studies were done in September 14th, 2017. I think has jumped
Y- y- y-
significantly.
I think that's a little quicker now.
You know
yeah,
what?
definitely.
I'm gonna piggyback off that. If social media and dating apps weren't around, it would probably be longer. People would actually be like building their love language and their personalities and all that and their like on the actual person than
Right.
actually what they're seeing.
Getting to know each other because they have to talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for example, if I post a modeling picture on my Instagram and a woman sees, yo, he got 8-pack abs, tattoos, muscles, and he's dominant, automatically she's a heterosexual woman. She's gonna tingle. You see what I'm saying? Automatic. So that might inspire her to, yo, he asked me on a date. Now that woman in the past, like I was talking about, wanting for me to hit on the first date. You see? So think about how infidelity is so high now than it was back then. We're watching ass cheeks all day. Our grandparents and parents were still together because none of this stuff existed.
Right. They actually had to write letters and mail it and
You see what I'm
do
saying?
all that stuff, not just send a text. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the woman had to wait days and days before she got, that beautiful letter. That's what made it going. All right.
That's
Now,
true.
I know we kind of
That's
touched
funny.
on this. Do men prefer a pretty face or a nice body for short-term and long-term relationship? What do you think?
Me?
Yeah, both.
Oh, she go first.
What do you
I
think?
think they want like a pretty face probably for long
Long-term?
term.
I think so too.
Um, you know, they'll probably take a nice body and an ugly face for just a quick hit.
Yep,
You
I
know.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have the only man on the panel. Agree with that. All right.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which do women prefer for short and long term? Pretty face or nice body? I don't base my long term, short term with the man on face or body.
There's different types of women out there.
That's true. So if I had to just make it up, I would say I wouldn't say nice body, but healthy, because if I'm gonna be with somebody for a long time, I want them to be around, and
Right.
for that you need to be healthy. So they don't need to have 6 packs, 8 packs, 12 packs, but be healthy.
Right.
Okay. What do you think?
I think, you know, women I think would go for the nice body like for the short term. And
So the same as the as
yeah,
top.
I
Yeah.
think it's the same as guys, I think in general people maybe I don't know. Cuz then you see people that just like get tired of dating and they just settle, and it's
Mm,
not really what they're
what they
completely
want.
attracted to or but they just like, "Oh, I might as well." Oh,
Right, I've been with him for so long, I might as well just stay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
I think it depends on the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Most modern women nowadays, and I say most, not all, they move like men. So a lot of them want short term relationships because they don't want to deal with
But
the
everything that
heartache
comes with
and
it, yeah.
everything that comes with relationships. So if
yeah,
they
I
see
mean
a nice
it's
body, they're quick to go on the post, "Hey, daddy," slide in their DM and want to be dominated, or oh, the things I could do to that guy, but I just want one night. I'm
Mm,
married, or I just want one night. I'm busy. I'm a CEO. I run a Fortune 500 company that requires a lot of me. I can't give my all in a relationship, but I'm still a heterosexual woman and I love dick. So she might say the things I could do to that man, or the things he could do to me, where it's like short term. The
mm.
body, the nice body.
mhm,
Now the pretty face.
Well, I was gonna touch on that. A man and his face, a beard can cover a lot and change how a man looks
right.
like this. Like you could see a
I
guy and be
know.
like, "Damn, he looks good because he has a beard." He shaves it off. You're like, "Oh God,
I
put it
know,
back
looking
on."
like a
You
naked
know what I mean?
chihuahua.
That's kind of
Yeah.
and the saying, men. I don't know why, but as men get older, they're more distinguished looking than rather when a woman gets older, she's just old.
Oh
Mm,
yeah,
Bastards.
mm.
the idea that men age
Exactly.
better.
Which is
Exactly.
crazy because women last longer than men.
You outlive them.
Outlive them,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
All
All
right. So
right.
final thoughts.
She could do her poem first and then I'll
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So I'm gonna go first, and
okay.
then I'm gonna let her go, and then you
Okay.
can go. Okay. So for my final thoughts on what makes a person approachable, um, I think for me, any person that's gonna be approachable, even just to try to be friends with, whatever, is how they carry themselves, how they like I stated earlier during the podcast, how they treat others. You know what I mean? Um how how inclusive they are, how they invite you in. That to me is what makes somebody, for me, in my eyes, approachable.
And I think that, just to piggyback off that, is actually when you're in that courting process.
mm,
Because the approach is not even anything established yet. So you can't see how he is.
If you're standing back,
I'm gonna
and,
give
and
you an
I'm
example.
only saying this because, like,
In the
when I was in
club,
a club,
you
right,
meet the
I
guy.
can, right, but watching him interact with his people and all that stuff, how he carries himself, that's what I'm talking about. Now afterwards, now I'm gonna look even deeper. When we go out to eat, how do you treat the waiter? How do you treat a bum on the street?
Mm,
But while I'm watching, if I'm in that club setting, it's how he's treating, how he's interacting with the people around him.
mm. Okay. You have any final thoughts
Yes, the
or the
poem. The
poem? Okay.
poem.
Sure. Um,
I feel like we should dim the lights and like I don't know.
no. I think I'll do a love poem so that we can
And
and then
Valentine's just passed and everything.
yeah.
Perfect.
So this is a poem that I wrote about long distance love.
Mm.
Um, Baby, I'm here to tell you you're a gift. A blessing within chaos. I never expected you to exist. A muse falling from the very heavens. I praise the moment we met, this virtual connection, virtually transcending into more than friends. Fantasies flooding the gates of my imagination as I surrender my heart to undreamed dreams I never imagined to dream. Admiring your stealthiness as you steal my hidden affection like the slowest thief in the longest night, one piece at a time. I oblige, taking my breath away every time I look into your eyes. Visions of standing close enough to gift wrap my lips wrapped around your whispers, your voice vibrating through me, manifesting new life into my stars where there's consolation in the constellation of your words from afar. Alignment has never aligned with such grace. Lord knows I never felt more royal in space, baby. I'm trying to tell you, you out of this world. Past cloud nine, dominating all layers of my mind. There's no hole in this ozone our conversations can redesign. This type of atmosphere throws my existence off its axis, and now I know why all my exes made their exits. Caught between space and time, time and space like a palindrome. It doesn't matter which way you look at it, the message stays the same. It's writing on the wall. And I wonder if its density is the destiny that was meant for me. I must be betrothed to your essence like a queen made in the reflection of your presence, where my gratitude builds you a throne of reverence, king. May I be the brightest gem to adorn your crown. See, I've built castle walls made of my shadows, but the smiles you conjure out of me shine a light through the loopholes, and for the first time in a long time, I could see my way out. I've always said, never fall in love with a poet, for they'll never love you more than words, but baby, you are language, created for expression. And although the difference in our distance is a torture of time zones, 5 hours ahead just means you've always been in my future. Baby, I'm trying to tell you, you got all my attention. And that's more than what I can say, what I'd pay anyone else. They don't deserve to crave me like you do. Yearning for unexpected mysteries, uncovering undetected vulnerabilities, exposing unperfected symmetries, yet you always match my energy. Huh. We were designed to satisfy our sapiosexual drive like we're cruising on a Sunday afternoon, sharing sun rays on some days. What I do to share a breeze with you someday. The patience isn't my strongest suit, but I practice wearing it if it means I share a new virtue with you. And some would say I'm falling for you, but baby, it feels more like I'm floating for you. Facing my fear of heights and love, ascending to this high with you. Journaling this journey of love with you. Encapsulating this love story, you as my muse. And I'm just amused that I ain't even have to write this shit.
Mm.
You saw it in my eyes long before the words came to my mind and made it to my pen. How beautiful it is to be seen. Our fluency in love languages rekindle flames of past lives, a reminder that I'm still alive. With poetry bursting at my seams, I build an arc of sonnets to carry me across uncharted seas as long as you're here to read it. And that's my
That was, you know
That
what? You
was
get this
bomb.
and you get
That
this.
was
That was
Thank
bomb.
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Wow,
That
you
was
have a way with
fantastic.
words.
Yep. That
Thank
was
you.
amazing.
Female musical artists, y'all put on notice.
Yeah, because these poets is coming for the
I
neck,
wish I
boy.
could write.
You
I
know,
would love to
and
ghostwrite for people. That would be
I
so dope.
love that you just put the phone down and then you just
Yeah.
went in.
Yeah.
I love it.
Appreciate
Amazing.
it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
You have a great talent.
I appreciate
That's
that.
what's up.
I would love to have you back on just so we can go more in depth
Oh
with
yeah.
all, you
Yeah.
know, your accomplishments and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
anytime. That'd be
I
dope.
know Mr. Discipline, do you have your final thoughts? And then we'll get her to say her where they can reach her.
What makes a man or a woman approachable to you? Everybody has their own preferences and personalities and things that make them feel secure and comfortable in a relationship. And I just feel like people need to actually go through the process of getting to know someone else. The vetting process is imperative, and we're rushing into things too quickly, especially in this modern era. And then nowadays, you're like, fuck, this is not really what I wanted. But at that moment, maybe the sex was better than the relationship. So you've built an emotional attachment. And it's like, now I can't detach so easy because I'm not promiscuous. Or you see what I'm saying? So like it just, to me, I would just tell people to slow down and have more discipline. That's what it comes down to, whether it's sexual discipline with men and women, um eye discipline, like really get to know the person and have conversations. Because it's hard to say this to modern people because they are conditioned technology and social media, you know, and the texting game is comfortable for a lot more people versus verbalizing, FaceTime, and the face-to-face interaction. But that's the advice I would give. Those are my final thoughts on the approach. Like we all have our own preference of what we look for, but you know, um, the vetting process is big.
Important. Yep.
Because like I was saying, when we use the example with you and I, you might see certain mannerisms you don't like, but it's not a deal breaker. You see what I'm saying? Because all these other things that you want long term, those checkses,
Right.
that you know that in this world we're not gonna meet perfect people. We're gonna meet imperfect people,
Yeah.
and we come together to be perfect for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about acceptance or understanding too.
Yeah.
So
So we're also gonna have it displayed. Her IG, she has 3
Yeah,
IGs.
I
And
have a few.
the first one at my_crumbled_thoughts. The second one is at the Rose Garden Events. And the third one is at JRose Experience. And then YouTube is the Rose Garden Events as well as Facebook, right? That's what they just type
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
And then Clubhouse, you all over the place, girl.
You know,
At JRose the Poet, as you
I
you
think
heard
I
right
might
here,
have
the bomb
changed
poet.
it. I think no, that was my TikTok. Yeah, that's fine. JRose the poet on Clubhouse. But yeah, follow me. I do, I host in-person open mics out here in New York, but I also do virtual open mics, and we have people from all over the world come and attend the virtual open mics. It's called Virtual Voices. And yeah, tap into the talk show. It's called the JRose Experience. You can catch it on the YouTube channel, the Rose Garden Events. We have 4 seasons right now. One of them is New York, Atlanta, Philly, and right now we're about to release the second half of our Tampa season, which is really exciting because that was like our first season that we like flew.
That's so
I flew with
cool.
a whole production team to film this season.
Good for
I'm really
you.
proud of it, and yeah, so tap in because there's just more to come.
That's right. You saw
That's
right
what's
here.
up.
So right here.
And you're Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah, I am.
So yeah, I like that. Black, Hispanic, women of color, men of
Coming
color,
through.
empowerment. I like
Right.
that. I
That's
like that.
important for me.
Representation.
That's I just a quick funny story. I was at an art show one time, and a lot of the main artist was a white man, and most of the artwork were like white women. And I was in the room talking to a friend of mine who's also white,
Mhm.
you know, and he was walking over towards us, and she was like, "Oh my God, imagine if he like asked us to be like in his next piece."
Mhm.
And I looked at her and I was like, "He would never ask me to be in his work." Like, she's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Do you see all the artwork around us?" And she was like, "Oh my God, I don't know why I didn't realize that." And I said to her, because this is a teaching moment, right? Lessons for white people. There's a teaching moment. It was like, that's because you don't step into a room and have to look to see if you're represented.
Yep.
You walk into many rooms, more rooms that I step into, where you're always represented somewhere, some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Where I step into rooms and I have to see, like, okay, are there other like people of color here, or am I holding it down for my people?
Isn't it so weird that when you do step into it and you find that person, you're like,
you're like, yo,
hi,
you
let's
get
be
the nod, you get the
friends.
nod, like, yo, I see
Especially
you.
women, you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go stand with her. Yep.
So, so it's really important, a lot of the spaces I create, although my spaces are always welcome to everybody, there's no discrimination. But there's a little importance for me to like really uplift and empower, people of color and empower women.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, empower women. A lot of the things that I do, I'm having an art showcase that's going to celebrate women visual artists. And the whole event is gonna just have women vendors, women DJs, women artists on the wall.
And they
So
can find all the information
yeah, you
on
can
your.
the best place to find me is on the IG. My Crumble Thoughts is the best account to follow me.
But don't call her because she might take 2 days
I
to get
will
back
take
to
2
you.
days to text you back. So DM me because I might get back to you quicker.
At least she lets you guys know.
Sorry.
And
She
that's
texts
it.
me pretty quick.
Yeah.
Hey, you gonna be on the show?
She
Boom.
felt the energy. That's why she was like,
Yes,
Yes, I
I'm
was
not
like,
trying to get in
okay,
trouble with
this
this
is
one.
something I need to address right now. This can't wait.
All right. Thank you. Really
Yes,
appreciate
Thank
thank
you
you
you.
coming
guys
down.
for having me. The convo was
Hopefully
dope.
we can have you back
Yeah.
on and really dive
Yeah,
into your
for
stuff.
sure. I'm always down. This
And
is
thank-
cool. I
I hope
appreciate
you
you.
enjoy that book.
Yes, I'm really curious now to like really
Read
like
the
getting
book.
to know you a little bit more. I'm like, I want to like tap into this.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure
It's gonna eventually adapt into film.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Eventually,
amazing.
it's a book series, so that's the
Yeah.
last one. They're still in finished business. But Strong Bonds Never Break, and then
Oh, that means I gotta get the first 2, man. So I don't.
You see what he did there?
This is like
He
me.
gave you the last one so that you know what I'm saying?
I can't go to, I can't just start watching season 3 of Ozark. Like, I gotta start from the beginning. Nah, I definitely plan to. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for
All
coming.
right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned into Discipline Therapy Podcast. I was about to say Discipline Therapy Talk.
Peace.